Hi, good morning. Hi, everyone. Okay, thank you for attending my lesson for today. Today, I'm going to go through our 2E mid-year revision checklist, part 1. Some of the topics in focus is on algebra today. So we shall begin with our page 7 of our notes over here. So for this question itself, how do we find these answers? When you see this type of question, generally number 1, you must think of our 3 special algebra special products. Okay, the first one will be a plus b square equals to, anyone can tell me a plus b whole thing square equals to what formula? What special product is this?
A square plus B square plus 2A.
Thank you. A square plus b square plus 2ab. Very good. Second one will be a minus b square. Then what will this special product be?
A square plus b square minus 2ab.
Thank you very much. A square plus b square minus 2ab. Last but not least, I should contribute for a third one, is when you have a plus b, a minus b, the sign are different over here, then you get a square minus b square. So what do we notice? We're looking at the question itself. It tells me x plus y squared. This already tells me that it fits which pattern? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? You'll fit in for the second
Number
type,
one.
right?
Number 1.
Number 1. Oh, sorry, I draw the wrong one. Oh, second one, first one. Number 1. Thank you. I see wrongly. Okay, so you'll fill in for the first type. So in that case, I'll copy the formula for the first one, but I'll change it in terms of x plus y instead. So it'll be x plus y whole thing square to be equals to x square plus y square plus 2xy. Then the next part, we're going to replace some information given to us over here. They say that x plus y whole thing is 49. So x plus y, now we change this number to 49, right? Equals to, okay, x squared plus y squared plus 2. Then they tell me the value for xy itself. Okay, xy is 10. So this value over here is 2 times 10. Okay, and in that case, we get 49 equals to x squared plus y squared plus 20. How do I get just x squared plus y squared, the value? I don't want the
Square equals to 49 minus 20.
Thank you very much. So it's 49 minus 20. And that gives me 29. Okay, so this kind of question is considered the basic, more straightforward and direct. Other versions, they might ask you 2 times of this, 3 times of this, or another type of question. But you can still take a look at some of the harder questions in checklist number 2, slightly a little bit harder. For this one, checklist one, we're going through the basics. All right, give me a minute. Let me reply some messages. Next one, expand and simplify this. Not that you all don't know how to do. Okay, but high chance you have what you will make careless mistake. Okay, so a lot of you might make careless mistake over here, right? Where there is a negative sign. This is a subtraction, correct or not? So when there's subtraction, always try to put brackets for this. Okay, right? Then I'll have x squared minus, if you notice, this one is a property x plus 2x minus 2 is a plus b, a minus b. That will give you x squared minus b, 2 squared, which is x squared minus 4. Right? So if not, you can also do the long method for expansion. Then now remember to change your sign. X squared minus x squared, negative and negative become plus 4. So final answer is just the number 4. Okay. Then the other one, x squared minus this whole thing. If you look at the pattern with question part 1, is actually almost about same. So what you notice is I will get x squared minus the whole of, instead Instead of x squared minus 2 squared, now it's x squared minus y squared. And I'll be able to get the answer. Negative times negative become plus. Final answer is just y squared. Okay. So I think this two part not much of a problem, only whether do you expand out the negative sign correctly or not. Okay, be careful of careless mistake. So now then the next problem comes with how to do part E. Question already say using your answers from part A. So what am I going to do? Anyone give me a hint? What am I going to do? I have x squared here, but this is 999 squared. I got x plus y here, but this number is 100,000. Then I got x minus y here. This one is 9996. What can I do? What can I observe? Anyone? No?
X plus Y is 100,002.
Okay, x plus y is 100,000. So I will compare this to x plus y. Then before you do x plus y, then what about x? What's x?
X is going to be 9999.
Yeah, so this one over here is actually my x squared. After I compare it this way, I'll notice that I can let x be 99999. Then you mention x plus y is 100,002, right? The x now we let it be the number 99999. How am I going to find y? I'm going to find y. How to find what's y?
100,002 minus
And 2.
99.
Yes, minus 99999. So what is the value?
3.
3, right? So after that you minus away, you get y equals to 3. But then got one more part over here. This one is actually need to be compared to x minus y, right? Let us check if I were to use my x, which is 99999. I minus away 3. Is it really 99996? Correct, right? So in this case, I can assume that y is equals to 3. Then now the question says, using your answer from part A. What's the answer in part A? The answer in part A is y squared. So if that's the case, then this whole thing, the answer, the value for this whole question, the answer will be
9.
yes, which is 3 squared and the number 9. Okay, so they say using your answers from part A. So this portion, they say using your answers for part A. So my answer for this whole value, directly 3 squared is equals to 9. I don't even need to use the calculator. Okay, so for this type of question, you must observe and know the pattern and you compare accordingly. Is that okay? If you are okay with this question, give me a thumbs up, then I move on to the next part of it. Next page. Okay, okay, can. Next one, next page over here. Given that, okay, this one is to make something the subject. But before we make something the subject, we need to notice there's a denominator, there's a fraction, right? There are a couple of things that we can do. One of the things is we can actually shift A over, right? Then you can have P minus A equals to BV squared over K. You can put this as over 1, then cross multiply. Okay, also can. Or some of you don't want, you want to multiply the K throughout directly. If you do multiply by K, then you must remember, if I do times K, this A over here also need to multiply by K. Okay, so this is one of the common mistakes. So as I was thinking through how to avoid some of the common mistake, right? One of the way we can make it easier is I can shift the A over here. So this one become P, this is plus A, so become minus A. bv square over k. Then now I try to get rid of the denominator. I'll multiply the whole thing, cross multiplication. Then I'll get pk, ak, and bv squared. Okay. Then now next one, if I want to express v, get v itself, right? But before I get v, I need to know that there's something else outside me. There's a b over here, and I still have a square to take care of. So we should do one thing at a time. Firstly, try to get just the v square on its own, and we are going to get rid of b. How are we going to get rid of b? The operation here is actually multiplication. How are you going to get rid of b?
Divide by b. Divide by b square. Then there will
Correct.
be
Then divide by b, correct? We divide everything by the letter b. Now, finally, I got v square on its own. So it's v square, right? How am I going to get rid of the square?
Square root the pk minus ak over b.
Very good. When we take square root, what must we remember? Got something outside the square root.
Plus minus.
Yes, very good. Well done. So then my last step, I'm going to skip directly and write the final answer. I'll make v in front. So I'll take square root of the whole thing, the whole expression over here that we have, the whole expression. Then outside, I must remember to put plus minus square root. Then this one will be the final answer. Okay. Then sometimes students ask me, sure, when do we put plus minus? Okay. When we introduce the square root on our own, we add a plus minus. But if the question itself is already with a plus minus, with a square root, but they never put plus minus, it means they want the positive square root of the answer. Okay. Then you just read accordingly. So if it's already given in the question with the square root, then you don't need to add it. Okay, but if the question you don't have square root, you introduce the square root on your own, then you must remember to put plus minus. Okay, now this one, read over here. Find the values means what? We'll have how many answers?
More than one.
More than one answer, right? Very good. You never tell me two. Tell me more than one. Okay, well, good understanding of the question. So find the value of b. So I just substitute this. Then p is 5 times k minus a times k, which is actually 200 over 3. 200, this one doesn't look like a nice number. Okay, something is missing. What is missing in my working? No, nobody tell me what's missing in my working. Are you sure?
Plus minus.
Yes, thank you. Plus, minus. Okay, so do you manage to get answer? My answer don't look like it's a nice number. Is it a decimal place? Or is it just I count wrongly? Hello, what's the answer? I got 8.1649 something. All right. Then we round it off to
8.164.
Okay, then I'll round it to 8.16 or negative 8.16. Okay, now two answers. Okay. Okay, so this one shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, but what about the second one? I know we're talking about fractions just now. Oh my God, there are so many denominators in our fraction over here. So what we can do? Okay, give me a minute. Okay, oh yeah. Okay, what can we do? Well, we have a fraction over here, 1 over f, and then we have another fraction, 1 over u with 1 over v. So problem is this one is, I can't even cross multiply yet because it's not one single fraction. Okay, and then the second thing that we can actually do is I can make this whole portion, okay, into one single fraction with a common denominator. Then we cross multiply, okay, and then get the answer. You give me a minute. Yeah. Wait a while. Somebody messaging. Okay, we cross multiply and make this the same denominator over here. So this is 1 over f equals to, I should make this the same denominator. What denominator will I? Yeah, yes, I saw somebody giving me the answer already. uv, I want to make this same denominator. So this one times v, this one multiplied by u, then you become v plus u over uv. Then after this, now once I made it into one single fraction, I can happily cross multiply. Yes, very good. Okay, then this one will be uv, then multiply over to the whole thing. So this fv plus uf, right? Okay, then the next thing I'll introduce you my 3-letter G, F, and D. Anyone remember what the G, F, D are?
Group, factorize,
Group.
and
Yeah, group factorize and then?
Divide, right?
divide.
Yes, correct. D-I-V-I-D. Okay, so first one, we want to make what the subject? We make U the subject, right? So we group all those with letter U, all the terms with letter U together. Not just shift the U only, the whole term that comes together, the body with it. Okay, so I'll put everything on my left-hand side. Okay, UV, and then I'm going to shift this over, okay, to this side. So this one is positive F and U, then become negative, okay, and this one is just FV. So once I have this, all the similar terms on one side already with letter U, letter U is my subject, so I show, okay, letter U is my subject, so I'll factorize out the letter U, and I'll keep it as V minus F equals to FV. Last but not least, I will just want the letter U. I shall divide away the whole of V minus F. So with FV over V minus F, the whole thing will be the answer. Okay, have you gotten the concept? Okay, so for this kind of question for fraction, this is one of the trickier questions, and it's quite standard that one of the teachers' favorite also. Okay. So move on to the next question. Another teacher's favorite. Actually, the question is not really very difficult, but the teacher wants to trick you or test you, see whether do you remember to square certain numbers or not. Right? So the first thing over here, we notice that there is a square root. So intuitively, a lot of students will square the thing directly. But if you square the thing directly, right, you must remember, if I square this one over here, this number 2 over 3 also need to be squared. Okay, and some more, personally, I don't like to have denominators. So I'll try to get rid of the denominator for me first. Okay, so in this case, we are part A, they only ask me to find the value of V. Let me find the value of V first. You notice here, this one has a square root, but then they never put any plus or minus sign outside, right? So that means they are okay with just taking the positive value. And you notice your question never tell you values. Okay, they only tell you find the value. Okay, what is this answer? I got 4 over 15. Is it correct? Do you all get 4 over 15? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now I'm going to express H in terms of V and G, but H in terms of V and G itself, H is trapped inside my square root. So firstly, I will try to get rid of my denominator. I'll multiply my denominator to the other side. Okay, so this one I'll get 3v equals to 2 square root 2gh. Next thing, I will try to get rid of the 2 first. So this is actually multiplied by 2. I should divide the 2 away. 3v over 2 to be equals to square root 2gh. Next thing, now I want to get rid of my square root. Okay, I'm going to square both sides. Square the whole thing. Okay, square everything. So when I square this, the square root will be gone. It's just 2gh, right? But when I square this, I must remember I must square the number 3. It becomes 9. Square the letter v, v squared. Square the number 2, 4. Okay, then again, I do not want 2g. I do not want the 2g. I can bring it down to the denominator directly. Okay, then this one will be divided by 2g. So it joins in the denominator. So h is equals to 9v squared over 4 times 2gh. I'm going to shift the 2gh, right? Divide it away. So you shift to the denominator. Okay, but let us simplify this portion. So h equals to 9v squared over 4 times 2 will give me 8g. Then we get our answer. Okay. One word of caution, sometimes the teacher like to test other examples, such as square root of a squared plus b squared. And then ask you to make b the subject or something like that. Then some students, right, what they will do, they get out or they act clever or whichever, they say, oh, square root ma. Then I change it and simplify it to a plus b. Okay, this one, is this correct? Give me a sign, cross, cross, or tick, tick. Is this correct? Can this be true? No, nobody answer me. Ayo. If not, you give me a reaction button. Is it a cross or is it a tick? Hello? If I were to simplify this, can this be simplified? Okay, no response. Means all of you don't know. This is not true, Yeah, cross. Cannot like that, okay? You cannot square root a squared plus b squared and then you tell me it's a plus b. This is not correct. Not correct. One person give me the face, it's like, you're also not very sure that it's correct or not, okay? So this one word of caution, this is not true. Okay, how come? Not true. Okay, please do not do this. Your teacher may test you this kind of question at the end of the year. Okay, so please take note. Next part, now if you're done with this, we shall move on to the next page. Anyone need to explain anything else? Is it okay? Okay, then I go on to the next page already, yeah? Can? Okay, no response. Okay, can, got 2 thumbs up. Okay, next one, simultaneous equation. So in order for us to revise on both the methods, so I decided to just specify that I want substitution and specify that I want elimination for each of the question. Okay, for questions involving substitution, when do I actually use substitution? Number one, when there is something that you can make as a subject easily. For example, this one is positive y. So you notice that y is alone on its own. I can try to make y my subject easily without involving too much of a fraction. But Sec 2 end of year exam, your teachers are usually not very nice. They will give you the questions usually with a number and a fraction. So those of you who like to do substitution, you must practice fraction. And in fact, next year you'll need to do A math, right? A lot of the simultaneous equation in A math will need you to do substitution. So elimination will probably be not very useful for A math, right? So I will still advise you to practice doing substitution, especially those terms with fraction. Okay, so in this case, I will have equation 1 and equation 2. From equation 1, okay, I will make y the subject. I'm writing this down. This portion down is optional in the exam, you just need to write for me from 1. Okay, then you make y the subject, y equals to, you can shift the 3x over here, you'll be 8 minus 3x. Then you must write sub equation 1 into equation number 2. This one is not optional. This one you have to communicate with your teacher who is marking your paper. What are you trying to do? Presentation is very important. So 2x plus 3 times of the y is equals to 17. Now my whole expression, the y now is replaced by 8 minus 3x. Okay, then we expand this carefully. So 2x plus 24, 9x, 70. Okay, negative 7x, 17 minus 24, 17 minus 24, negative 7, so x equals to 1. Okay, but that's not all. I must remember to find the value for y. So I can sub x equals to 1 into equation 1. This one is something you also need to write. Presentation. Okay, presentation. So I'm going to use this directly. Y equals to 8 minus 3 times 1. So answer will be 5. Last but not least, you have one whole page of all the answers. Your teachers may not be able to find the answers or whichever. Or if you have the answer blank, please write them, present them correctly. Okay, sometimes to solve the question, but you copy the number in the wrong place, and you don't get answers. Okay, so present your answers properly. Right, next one, let's take a look at solving simultaneous equation using the elimination method. So we have equation 1 and equation 2, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to make some numbers the same, then add or subtract them. Now, a lot of times the students are misled. Then they tell me, Cher, what do you mean by same sign add, same sign subtract? They thought that the sign is depending on this sign. No, that is not always the case. It's the sign for the variable that I want to remove. It's for the sign of the variable that I want to remove. Okay, so I will add in the sign for some of the other terms later on. Now, firstly, you have to tell me, do you want to make x the same or do you want to make y the same? Which one will be easier or like save a step? Anyone? You want to make x or you want to make y the same?
Y.
Make y the same, okay? Very good. Now, we make y the same, you notice y, I just need to multiply by 5, then I'll make it become 10y. So I just need to multiply 1 time. Whereas for x, I need to multiply 3 and 7. I need to do 2 times. So we'll make it easier. I'll take equation number 2 times 5. When I do that, every single term need to multiply by 5. Then this will give me 35x, negative 10y, negative 17 times 5. A lot of you multiply by these two, then your negative 17, you left it at negative 17 during our previous test or something like that. Then you get wrong, okay, a bit wasted. So make sure you multiply throughout everything, right? Then next one, this is copy down equation number 1, the same over 11. Now, what do? We look at the sign of the variable that we want to remove. In this case, we are looking at the variable y. So if I want to remove y, I'm looking at the sign for y. Okay. Similarly, if I want to remove x, then I'm going to look at the sign for x itself. Okay, so it's not always depending on just the sign in the middle of the equation. That's not correct. Okay, you follow the sign of the variable that you want to remove. Then now, same sign subtract. So it's SSS. Okay, then DSA, different sign you add. So for same sign, I'm going to do a subtraction. Okay, then what will this be? This will be 35 in black ink. Okay, I'm writing down the working. Those of you can do mentally, no problem. 35x minus 3x. Negative 10y minus 10 become plus 10, right? So no more y. Then this is negative a5 minus 11. Sometimes the sign got a negative sign and you might need to change sign. Okay, so do write down your working or make sure you calculate carefully to get your answer. Okay, this step is actually additional. If you know your answer and you can write it correctly, you can calculate the number. You can write this step directly. Okay, then now we don't want 32, we divide by the number 32. Yes, thank you very much. We get the answer -2. Okay, then of course, after that, we're going to sub x equals. Okay, you want to put it into which equation?
It's negative.
-3, yeah. Oh, I read wrongly, is it? Oh, so sorry. -3, thank you. Then like that, you want to put this into which equation? You want equation 1 or you want equation 2 to get x? Both can.
Equation 1.
Okay, can. Then we'll put into equation 1. So for equation 1, 3x, right? 3 times -3 minus 10y equals to 11. So -9 minus 10y equals to 11. Bring this over. This is -9, become +9. Okay, 11 plus 9. Right, it becomes 20. So y equals to -2. Is this the same answer as all of you? Last but not least, present your answers. Do y'all get the same answer? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, can. Now, just a word of caution. If you do remember, we have actually solving simultaneous equation by graphical method. Do you remember? Okay, where you need to draw 2 lines. The first line for one graph, then another line. If it's a graphical method, how do we find the solution for the simultaneous equation? We need to draw the 2 lines. Let's say my one line is like that, line 1. Then I got another line like that, line 2. Then how am I going to find the solution? Anyone remember? No. No. We look for the point of
intersect.
Thank you. We look for the point of intersection. At the point of intersection, there is a pair of coordinates, the x value and the y value. So from the points of intersection, okay, your coordinate, you read the x value and y value. Okay, but the answer is not the coordinates. The answer is x equals to something, y equals to something. Do not give me the answer as this. Okay, this is not the answer. Okay, but that can help me to read the answer. The x equals to that x coordinate, the y equals to that y coordinate value. Okay, right, just a reminder. I don't remember whether they asked you to draw graph. I think in checklist 2, you will need to draw graph. Okay. Now, let's go through for algebra. We might be able to end a little bit earlier today. We are left with 2 pages. Then we'll be happy, right? Okay, if I got a little bit more time before 11 or 11:30, I may start a little bit of revision checklist 2 for next lesson. Depends, huh? Okay, first one, algebraic fraction. Rule of thumb for algebraic fraction. Number 1. Do not cancel anyhow, okay? Always check, can you factorize anything? Can you simplify, okay, before you make something into a same denominator or whatever? Can you check for common factors? Things like that you must do. Okay, but the very first one over here, this type of question, you notice there's no addition and subtraction sign, only a negative sign. Negative sign is just for a sign for the integer. Okay, it's not a subtraction sign. So in this case, everything is all multiplied together. It's all factors, right? So when it's all factors, then I can simply by cancelling out the common factors. So now negative 12 with 3 over 3, this one give me negative 4 directly. A and A cube, right? On top got 1, bottom got 3. I cancel out one factor. I'm left with 2 more, which is in the denominator. So A squared. Next one, B squared and B squared, totally no more. C cubed and C squared, that's 3 on top, 1 below, so cancel out left C. Right, so this one very simple, straightforward. This is the answer straight away. Okay, but when it comes to this kind of question, please, you don't tell me that you're going to cancel, oh, P squared, Q squared, Q, or then 5 and 15 or whichever. This is wrong, right? Please do not do this. I will send you my favorite letter. What's my favorite letter?
Factorize.
Yes. Okay, F for factorize. You don't factorize, fail already. Okay, you factorize. Okay. So how am I going to factorize? First thing, always check, is there any common factor? What's the common factor over here? Anyway. Yes, Yami?
P and Q.
P and Q. P and Q is a common factor. We should look at, okay. We should look at the first one, the numerator first, before you tell me P and Q is a common factor.
5.
P, just for the
5.
first, yes, correct. 5 is a common factor, right? So 5 is the common factor for the numerator. Then we got P squared minus 45 divided by 5.
9.
You get 9 Q squared. Okay, not sure what to continue. Never mind. Let us look at our denominator. What is the common factor for our denominator?
P.
Okay, P. Oh, that one is Yummy, is it? Or Jihang. Then I'm left with, I take P squared, I take out 1P, I'm left with P plus 3Q. Nothing to cancel, eh? Then how? I leave this as the answer. Any more tricks that I can use? Anyone? Any more pattern? Any observation? Any special?
P
Yes.
square minus 9Q square.
Okay, P square minus 9Q square factorize. Somebody said factorize. What use what pattern to factorize, or any
P plus
special
3Q,
product?
P minus 3Q.
Oh, thank you. So your special product, that one is Bunchi, right? The special is which special product? Do you remember?
A square
A square.
A plus B, A minus B.
Yes, correct. So A square minus B square is A plus B, A minus B. So down here, but this one, this is 9, so we need to do a little bit of plastic surgery to our number 9. So this portion over here, P square minus 9Q square, you're changing the 9 to what number square?
3.
3 square Q square. So inside our bracket, we will change this. We are going to keep the 5, I'm not going to throw it away. So we're going to have 2 brackets instead. A plus B, A minus B. So our A will be P, and our B will be 3 and Q. So P plus 3Q, P minus 3Q. Then now over P bracket P plus 3Q. Then I got things that I can cancel away. Personally, during test and exam, I try not to cancel, or I cancel using pencil, or whichever. If not, later teachers say I never factorize, they don't give me the marks. Okay, or sometimes you have too many cancellation in your paper, it looks very messy. Then your teacher don't know what answer is it, right? Then you waste your marks. right? So for me, I prefer not to do the cancellation like that. I'll erase away this one. Okay, then for simplification of algebraic fractions, some students might still want to expand the numerator. No need to do so. Okay, no need to do so. Keep it factorized. This will be the simplest form. So this one is definitely the answer. Okay. Next question. Okay, now this one. Please, for this kind of question, right, in fractions, do not rush to just make the denominator the same. Again, I send you my favorite letter. What's my favorite letter again?
Factorize.
Yes, F for factorize. Okay, always factorize. Brian, can you help me? What can I do to this denominator? Die also must think of something to factorize.
You make them the same denominator.
I also don't want to make them, but I need to do something that are not totally the same. I need to do something. Factorize. Can you tell me how to factorize this denominator?
You multiply.
Right.
You multiply the other denominator.
No.
A
Do
plus
something
B,
to
A minus B.
do some plastic surgery to 4 and 9.
Square
you-
the 9.
Yeah, you square root it.
Square root it. Okay, then what? Then what do you actually get?
You'll get 2x minus 3
Then the other one
is 2x.
just 2x minus.
One is 2x minus 3, the other one is 2x plus 3.
Correct. This one I call you because your last test you multiply the denominator straight away. So I'm calling you to make you take a note, mental note, okay? You remember must factorize. Can? Brian, okay? Yeah.
Yes.
So this one, yes, Brian gave us the correct answer over here just now. So somebody also suggested use this. So I'm gonna change this to plastic. So I'm going to do plastic surgery for the 4x squared minus the 9. Right? I'm gonna change this. 4 is actually 2 square. 9 is actually 3 square. That's how just now Brian was suggesting the answer or giving us the question 4 over. And he changed it to 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. This kind of question, sure tested, sure come out one, just sure test. Okay, so please check and make sure, right? Then the next part of the trick question comes already. Sure, they are not the same. How? Which of the following bracket looks a little bit similar, same, but slightly different? This 3 minus 2x can be simplified or can be changed to
Negative. The change the sign.
okay, then if I change this sign, I multiply by a negative. I'll change this one to negative. Then what happens? Yeah, so what happens? Why do I need to do this? Then what happened to this one? I multiply a negative. So this one, 3 become?
Negative 3 plus 2x.
Okay. Why is it a need for me to do so? So you notice that this is negative 3 plus 2x, right? It's actually negative 3 plus 2x. So that these two denominator becomes the same denominator. Okay, so this is 2x plus 3. This one is 2x minus 3. So both of them have the same denominator now. Okay, is it okay for me, because some of you write this, but some of you write the other way. Is it okay for me that I change this now into 2x minus 3 so that it looks similar? It's easier to see that they are similar. Can? Okay, I'll write it this way. They are actually the same. Then now, what do we need to do? Like what Brian said, we must make the denominator the same. Now multiply this side by 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. Okay, then some students will tell me they start to cancel or whichever and left the number 1, things like that. No, you don't cancel away. right? You expand your numerator. So this is 1 minus the whole of 2x plus 3. The denominator is just this. Okay, do not cancel. Do not cancel anything. There's nothing that you can cancel. Instead, you expand out the numerator. Okay, and you get 1 negative sign. Now remember to change sign. Minus 2x minus 3. Then you get 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. They may look same, but never simplify yet. Don't cancel anything yet. Negative 2x. 1 minus 3 give me negative 2. Is this the final answer? Is this the final answer? Anyone? Who will write this as the final answer?
No.
Then how? Why? What happened, Jane?
Remove the negative 2.
Remove, correct keyword to use now.
Factorize.
There is a common factor, right? This is 2, this is also 2. In fact, Jihan suggested factorizing the negative 2. So in this case, there are 2 different answers. You can factorize out just the number 2 itself. Okay, this is the first possible answer. Or you can, like what Jihan suggested, you can factorize out negative 2 itself. Then this one will become plus 1, positive change sign. So both the answers will be the correct answer. Okay, so sometimes after you factorize out, you may notice, hey, there's more common factor for me to cancel away. Okay, but sometimes not lah. Okay, don't have. So it depends. All right. So please take note. This question have a lot of tricks inside it. Please remember to write for this type of question. Okay, I reply again. I mention again the rule of thumb. Try to factorize, see if there's any common denominators. Don't just multiply the denominator straight away. Is that okay? Okay, we are almost near our 11 o'clock mark, right? Do you need a quick break before I continue? Because the next 2 questions are also a little bit tedious. Do you need a break or we chong until we finish the 2 pages? 2 minutes, 2 minutes. How about 2 minutes break? Is that okay? I'll give you 2 minutes, Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes break. See you later. I'll pause for a while. Okay, time's up. Are y'all back? If you're back online or ready to begin, give me a thumbs up. Okay, yay. All right, let's begin. Okay, I think we should not be able to do checklist 2 today. We just finish up or whatever that we need to do. Okay, right. All right, part B again, factorize my denominator. This is already factorized for me. Then, so what is actually x minus 3 holding square? What does this mean? So you mean, do I need to, some of the students, what they will do this, they will tell me they square this, then they square this. Can or not? Cannot. Okay, because this x minus 3 holding square doesn't mean ask you to square the denominator or whichever. This x minus 3 holding square tells me that it's x minus 3 repeated same sign. Okay, there are some students, your careless mistake is you write x minus 3, the other one you change it to x plus 3, then wrong. All right, so it's actually x minus 3 repeated the same sign. Okay, then 2 times, so minus 2x over x minus 3. So in this case, we just need to multiply one more denominator over here, and this one will be x minus 3. All right, do not cancel anything. Make them into the same denominator, right? At this juncture, you can write x minus 3 holding square, or you can write x minus 3 with x minus 3 as a denominator. Both can, doesn't matter, all right? Anyone can tell me what is the numerator now? After you expand and simplify. Anyone can tell me?
2x cubed minus 6x.
Negative 2x squared plus 6x.
Plus. So just now somebody told me 2x cubed. Jihan, you told me 2x cubed, is it? Not 2x cubed. X squared, right? Right, x squared, right? Okay, negative 2x squared. Then I think you told me the correct answer. Negative times negative plus 6x. Okay, don't forget this 3 over here, okay? Some of you didn't tell me the 3. Don't forget the 3 over here. Then now we're gonna simplify this. So negative 2x squared plus 6x plus 3. Something to check. Got x squared. Maybe I can factorize. I'm not sure. Okay. So what I can do? Cannot factorize. How do you know cannot factorize? How do you know cannot factorize? We have our calculator to help us, right? We have a calculator to help us, right? There is this thing, the mode 33, right? Or the mode 522. So your A is negative 2, the B is 6, the C is 3. Let's see whether can we factorize anything. Oops, it gave me decimal place, so nothing to factorize. Nothing to factorize, then we are happy. Then this one will be our final answer. Okay? Can? Okay, let's go on to the next question. How are we going to solve this? The method always the same.
Factorize.
Yeah, thank you very much. We factorize our denominator. So this one we try to do our cross multiplication, or some of you like to use your calculator. So y times y give me y squared. What number times what number can give me 6? What will y'all like? And then got y. What do y'all like?
3 and 2.
Thank you. Right, so we have 3 cross. So this one's supposed to be cross, okay? So 2 times 3 is 3y. Y times 3 is 3y. Y times 2 is 2y. They should be in this position, okay? Make sure you cross it in the correct position. I want a positive y. So the larger number will get a positive sign. The smaller number will get a negative sign. Shift the sign over. Then this one, check. Positive, oops. Positive times negative gives you negative 6. Negative 6, this is correct. So in that case, this one will be my answer, the factorized form for my denominator. So this is y plus 3 over y plus 3y minus 2. Okay, open your eyes, observe. Is there anything we can simplify before you rush to multiply everything by make the same denominator? Is there anything we can simplify? If you were to notice, this is y plus 3, a whole term, right? Teacher say cannot anyhow cancel, right? I cannot cancel individually y plus 3, but y plus 3 can be one whole term with a number 1 line, right? And then you notice this one is y plus 3. This is also y plus 3. I'm not cancelling individually y with y, 3 with 3. I'm cancelling the whole of the factor. Yes, what do you see?
Cancelling the whole term.
Then we can cancel the whole term. But in this case, exam, I'll still not write like that. I'll maybe cancel in pencil. Then my next part, after I cancel already, it doesn't mean that the whole numerator disappear. There's still a number 1 over y minus y and 3y over y minus y. Then now the denominators are already the same. I just need to combine them to get, yes, then you get our final answer. Okay, so please open your eyes and observe, is there anything that you can cancel or simplify, but always factorize first. right? Okay, if you are good with this question, then we'll move on to the last page already. Good, okay? Can I? Can I? Last page, can? Okay, last page for today. Coordinates and linear graphs. So we kept a little bit of the basics. So before we actually left for semester 2 holiday, we actually went through a little bit of equation for a straight line. What's the general equation of a straight line in the form? Equation of straight line. Y equals to
Max plus C.
yes, nx plus c. Thank you. That one looks like Shaoxing, is it? Okay, the logo. Right, so a general equation of line is y equals to nx plus c. The n gives you the gradient. Then the c gives you the y-intercept. Okay, so in this case, the question says, given that this is my equation, I want to state the gradient. State the gradient and y-intercept. Notice they never ask you to find. So in this case, what we need to do, we need to, from here, we make y the subject. So I will shift away my 5x. I'll get 2y equals to, now it's very common that students will write as 8 minus 5x, like that, right? But for me, in order to make it in this form, y equals to mx plus a c, I'm going to change it to negative 5x plus 8. But this is not y yet. This is y, no, this part over here is y, but this is 2y. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide by y, by 2. Now, common mistake, or not say common mistake, most of students will do this, then you get stuck at reading the gradient. So what I would strongly recommend you to do, or even for simultaneous equation, make something the subject, right? Try to divide them individually. Okay, then remember, simplify. Don't leave it like that, okay? Process a little bit. I got some mental calculation, whichever. So y equals to, please do not give me mixed number for gradient. Do not give me, try not to give me decimal, okay? Always use improper fraction when it comes to algebra terms. So I'll keep it as negative 5 over 2 unit of x. Then 8 divided by 2 is just a number 4. Then from here, y equals to mx plus c. I can read my gradient and my y-intercept directly. Remember to include the sign. So my gradient, which is my m, will now be, what is the answer?
Negative 5 over 2.
Thank you. Then what will be my y-intercept? Thank you. Right? Your picture is what? Popcorn. Your icon picture.
8.
Okay, 8. Oh, okay. Right. Next question. Now, question gave us a pair of coordinates. Okay, and asked me to find the gradient of the line AB. So I already have the formula. What? Anyone remember what's the formula for gradient?
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Thank you. Oh, this one is Wenjun's icon. This is not Shaoxing's icon. Okay. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So which one is my x and which one is my y? So x coordinate comes first. So this one will be x1, y1, a pair, boy and girl, okay, x and y. Then the other one, x2, y2. Some student will give me x1, x2, then y1, y2, not correct, okay? Then now, remember, it's y2 minus y1. If you take the back minus the front, divided by the back minus the front. Okay, so it's negative 5 minus 0 over 4 minus negative 2, the sign. Please be careful of the sign. So, and for this one, you should get a negative 5 over 6. Is that right? Okay, do not write your gradient as decimal place if it's not exact, or try not to write decimal place. Okay, I will always try to use fraction. Okay, or if not, improper fraction. Don't use mixed numbers, please. So this one will be my answer. Okay, shouldn't be a difficult one. Memorize.
So you wrote x2 twice.
Oh, x2 minus x1. Okay, thank you. So x2 minus x1. Okay, thank you. Okay, now last part. Okay, last part for set 1 revision, number pattern. Okay, not sure whether are you all able to remember the number pattern. Okay, the first 4 patterns I have 3, 7, 11, and 50. How can we get the pattern from one another? Suggestions? Come on, come on.
+4.
Thank you. Correct. So everything is +4, right? Write down an expression in terms of n for the n term of this sequence. For the n term of this sequence, so if I want the n term of this sequence, term n, if this is the +4, +4, +4, so my formula must have a +4n. Okay, it would be definitely +4 with the n. But then I must check my first term. If my n is 1, then my answer will be 4. But this number is 3. Then I need to check what number +4 can give me 3. What number +4 can give me 3?
-1.
Okay, so -1. How do you get -1? We minus a 4 over here. So 3 minus 4, I'll get the number -1. So then this formula will be -1 plus 4n. So this is the n term of a sequence, right? Now, because the question over here only stops here, but I want to highlight, add on a little bit more information. Okay, there are other types of skills that will need you to test on and check. If let's say, I give you an example, the questions may go something like, is the number 1, 4, 3 a term in this sequence? How are we going to answer such a question? Is 1, 4, 3 a term in this sequence? How? What we need to do? We need to take this formula and equate it to the number 1, 4, 3, and we try to solve for the letter, for the variable n. Okay, so I'll take my formula given that I found the formula already just now in part A, and I equate it to the number 1, 4, 3. Let's try to solve. 4n equals to this 1, 4, 3 bring over here becomes, I add 1, right? It's 1, 4, 4. Common mistake, so it was still -1. Then they give me 1, 4, 2. Okay. Then what do I need to do next? I'll take 1, 4, 4 divide by 4, and n equals to the number 36. But how am I going to decide whether is this term 1, 4, 3 in the sequence or not? That's the key thing that I need to write. Key explanation. Why? Anyone remember? Do I have zero? Not 0. Since n is n starts with the letter I.
Integer.
Yes. Since n is an integer, therefore 1, 4, 3 is a term in the sequence. Okay, if n is not an integer, then 1, 4, 3 is not a term in the sequence. Can you all remember? Okay, I think it looked like this part you all might have forgotten some of it. I'll try to find one of my set 1 number pattern videos and then send to the group, then you all do a revision. Can? Okay. Now we're going to do the last question over here. Consider the following pattern. Now this type of pattern actually have a little bit more of, you need to use a little bit more of common sense. Okay, so not that easy or straightforward. Okay, but write down the 7th line in the pattern. They're asking you for the whole line itself. It's not asking you for just the final value, the number. So you need to write down the whole of the pattern. So if the pattern starts with first line, line number 1, 1 square, line number 2, 2 square, line number 3, 3 square, line number 4, 4 square. So line number 7 will be 7 square minus, then this is 0, 1, 2, 3, always short of 1, right? So this is 4, it becomes 3. So this one will be 7 square minus 6 square. Then next part, we observe the pattern. 1, 3, 5, 7. If you do not know the pattern or whichever, never mind. Take the calculator. Get the 1 mark first, more important. 7 square minus 6 square. Answer is 13. Okay, let's take a look. How can you actually get the number 13? 1 go to 3.
7 plus 6.
Is it? I don't know. 7 plus 6. So is it 1 go to 3, 3 go to 5, 8 plus 2 plus 2? Is it not plus 2? But 7 square minus 6 square is the number 13. How is it correct now? 1 plus 2 gives me 3. 3 plus 2 give me 5. 5 plus 2 give me 7. Oh, but Jehan says 7 plus 6 gives me 13. Let's try. 4 plus 3 gives me 7. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. It's also correct. Okay. Not very sure. So, but for me, I'll try. So it's 7. Then after that, if I plus 2, it'll be 11. Plus 2 again, it'll be 13. So the 5th line and where? 4th line, 9, 5th line, 6th line, 7th line, still 13. So there are a couple of different number of patterns that you can actually use to get the answer. So like what Jehan suggested, this case, you can take the 2 of them, add together, or for me, I'll just identify a pattern from this series over here. Okay, but whatever is the case, I just use my calculator, I can also get my answer. So let me get my 1 mark first. So that's the answer for part A. Now, part B, find the value of 143 square minus 142 square. You can simply use the calculator, or if not, you can use the number pattern like what Jehan have identified. 143 plus 142. Let's try. If I'll do 143 plus 142, what answer does it give me? It gives me the answer 285. And let's try, if I were to use this pattern over here, plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which gives me plus 2n. And I must check what is the first term, the term 0. What number plus 2 can give me 1? So the number -1 plus 2 can give me 1, right? And when n, this term over here, this is the line 143. When n equals to 143, -1 plus 2 of n, 143, what number does it give me? 2 times 143. It also gives me 285. Then I use my calculator to check. It still gives me 285. I can write down the answer straightforward directly by calculating the number. But this understanding the patterns over here can help me to solve for the next portion over here. So now I have x squared minus y squared equals to 101. If I were to use the method that actually Jehan suggested, what number plus what number can give me 101? And then you must notice that the two numbers are actually one after another, very near to each other, right? So what I will do in this case, since they are very near to each other, I will try to take 101 divided by 2 to give me 50. Then I'll get 51 minus 1 square minus 50 square. I'll try 51 plus 50 give me 101, right? So that's one of the pattern if I have to use pattern number 1 down here. Okay. Alternatively, if I were to notice that this is actually the same as the pattern, this is my method number 2, -1 plus 2n is equals to my pattern 101. Okay, I'll bring this one over here and it becomes plus. So 2n is actually 102. I divide by 2, n is actually number 51. That gives me the first number is 51. X will be 51, Y will be the second number, 50, which is the same answer as what Jing Hang's pattern suggested. 51, X equals to 51, and Y equals to 50. So we can get the answer in both ways. Okay, right. This question, a little bit more thinking question, but at least in this question, part A, part B, and part C, you should be able to at least do A and B, and you try error a little bit. Okay, make some sense out of it for part C. So maybe you might get the answers. All right. Okay, are there any particular questions that you need to explain again? If not, then I shall close off for today. All right, thank you for attending my lesson. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.